So I'm going to turn it over to Sharon Gardner to do the introduction of the speakers. Sharon, it's all yours.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and we thank Alameda Rotary for taking Alameda Interwheel under its wing during this very difficult pandemic time. Personally, I have learned to use Zoom, not the best, and I've learned to put names of the Rotarians and with a face. And I better understand Rotary and the steps it takes to get these big, large jobs done. So I personally appreciate that. Our group thanks you for the opportunity to share your knowledge and the inspirational speakers that you've been able to come up with, especially this year, or at least they're the ones we are aware of. But the biggest thank you goes to you allowing us to introduce Rotarians to Interwheel during National Women's Recognition Month. And that is really special. Our speakers for today are Michelle Burgess and yes, Marilyn Stonehouse, who arrived here because technically savvy problems occurred at her residence. So she's hanging out with Jim upstairs, and she will be speaking. Yes, she is Jim's wife, and yes, she's been one of the founding members of Interwheel about 40 years ago. She will share some of our history and projects that we have done in Alameda. Both Michelle and Marilyn will be available for questions after their presentations. So with that, I want to share with how I met Michelle. And Michelle, it's been wonderful to see you here. I first met her when I attended an Interwheel District luncheon when she came with her grandmother, Eleanor Chessman, and mother, Patricia Picard, our current USA National Foundation chairman. Yes, that is 3 generations of Interwheel women. Very, very, very proud. And we all 3 of them, I believe, Michelle can correct me, I believe they've all been members of the Niles Fremont District. Michelle is a very proud and busy mother of 2 young children and had a career in human resources in Silicon Valley, where she supported business executives in their field. She will be joining us right now from Tahoe, and we've seen her background of the way. Please welcome Michelle.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Yay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's get this going. Hold on. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So thank you for the introduction, Sharon, and thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity to be here. I also want to thank everyone who's joined us today. Thank you for your time. It's another Zoom call. I think we're all like, Zoom is great, but we're all excited to be in person sometime soon. So thank you for bearing with us with another Zoom. And yeah, I'm a 3rd generation interwheeler. So I don't know if that's by choice. I'm pretty sure I was forced into this, but but since then I've become very active and very passionate about the work we do as an organization. And so today I'm going to share all about our organization. Let's go. I'm going to talk about where we started and when. Our international organization representing Interwheel at the United Nations, Interwheel here in the USA, here in the Bay Area, and our amazing foundation. So as you probably all know, Rotary was founded in 1905, and within 10 years, it had moved over to the British Isles, and that's where Interwheel started. So at the time, Rotarians participated in many community service projects, and often their wives joined them. Usually a women's committee was set up to help on the project, and women really enjoyed these friendships, just like Rotarians do. And so oftentimes they'd initiate their own community service projects. So at the urging of their husbands, 27 women gathered together for the purpose of setting up a club like Rotary. The focus of the club was twofold: to foster friendship between the wives of Rotarians and to increase the opportunities for service. The chairman of this committee was Mrs. Margaret Golding, a nurse, a businesswoman, and the wife of a Manchester, England Rotarian. The next meeting, which was held on January 10th, 1924, marked the actual commencement of Interwheel and the formation of the Manchester Club. So when they started their club, they wanted to really show their connection with Rotary, but we weren't allowed to use the word Rotary in our name. So the women came up with this logo, and as you see, this is the Rotary logo, but we are the inner wheel to the larger Rotary wheel. So that's where our name came from, and that's where our logo came from. So from 1924 to 1934, inner wheel grew to 79 clubs. And I'm just super impressed with that, especially without technology. Like back in that time to grow that way, I'm really interested. So I reached out to International Interwheel I want to hear more about the story because I think that's just phenomenal. So it grew tremendously in England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. And then from 1934 to 1962, we started to grow internationally in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Canada. And as the amount of international districts continued to grow, leaders knew that it was going to be essential to have one governing body. So in 1967, there were 9 countries that made up International Interwheel. It was founded July 1st, 1967, and today we're one of the largest women's service organizations in the world. Our values are still the same, and they're actually very similar to Rotary: to promote true friendship, to encourage the ideals of personal service, and to foster international understanding. So right now we have about 110,000 women in action around the world. We're in 104 countries, and we have 4,000 clubs. And I just would like to recommend to those who are interested to go to our International Interwheel website. It's an amazing website, and you can see all of the work we do. I was going to highlight it, but my presentation was getting too long. But seriously, if you really want some inspiration, it is mind-blowing the work we do. We're in 104 countries, and all of these women are so active in helping their communities. It just got me even more inspired when I was putting this together. So internationalinterwheel.org, go ahead and check it out. And we actually put together an annual magazine, and it's really well done, and it highlights like the biggest projects from the year. So if you're bored at home, go ahead and take a look. Okay, so something really exciting and unique about our organization is that we have 6 spots at the United Nations, 2 in Geneva, 2 in Vienna, and 2 in New York. And as you know, I have the United Nations behind me. I was elected to be one of the United Nations representatives in New York last year. And so in the UN, we participate in the Economic and Social Council. And so I attend commissions that are focused on aging, social development, Indigenous people, and women and children. And that is really a main focus of Interwheel, is women and children. So right now I'm actually attending the 65th Commission on the Status of Women. And this is the UN's largest annual gathering on gender equality and women's empowerment. So usually I would be flying to New York. I get to attend these commissions in person at the UN, which I'm so excited for. Of course, we went into this pandemic with COVID, and that was when I was nominated. So I haven't been able to actually go to the United Nations yet. But I am so excited. So when we attend these events, there can be up to 3,200 other NGOs in participation. So I've heard that it gets like really kind of rough. You got to make your way to meetings and run to the meetings because they're filled with a ton of people. So it's supposed to be very exciting. I'll let you know when I go. So anyways, yeah. So right now I'm attending the CSW, the Commission on the Status of Women, virtually. And this is the UN's largest gathering on women. And it's my job to attend this side event, which are organized by countries, UN entities, international and civil society organizations. So my job is not just to attend the main meeting, but the side events. And that's really where everything, I would say that's where the fun stuff happens. So I've been able to attend these meetings virtually over the past 2 weeks. And I've heard from political activists, women in Afghanistan, Myanmar, Sudan, like areas where it's been so inspiring. So in some of the most challenging areas in the world, these side events are put together so women can share their story. So you get to hear, it's so amazing because unlike the news, which portrays what they want, you get to hear from the actual people who are there. And it is so cool. So my job in attending these meetings is to bring awareness to my inner wheel sisters on the most pressing issues affecting women and children around the world. After I attend an event, I submit a report, and they are actually all published on the International Inner Wheel website. So you can also visit and check those out as well. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit to Inner Wheel USA. We were established in 1987. We have 4 districts, 35 clubs, 650 members, a governing board, and semi-annual conferences. We are truly women in action, working together to make a difference to improve lives in our communities. We're comprised of mostly successful retired women. And what I have to say, I've been so inspired as I've gotten more into this, involved in this organization, is just the heart behind all of the people, very similar to the Rotarians. After hearing everything you guys do for your community, we're so similar. But I would have to say that the women in our organization are truly action, decision makers, movers, shakers, people who get stuff done. So I am just very honored to be part of this organization. And as one of the younger members, I'm really committed to sharing our vision and making sure that we continue to build this organization. So here in the Bay Area, we are District 517. So we are comprised of Alameda, Cupertino, Livermore, Niles, Fremont, San Leandro, and Saratoga. We have 150 members, and we're actually the fastest growing district in the country. I wanted to highlight just some things that we do here in the Bay Area. So Inner Wheel Club of San Leandro. The first time I heard about this, I was so shocked and inspired, but I don't know for how many years they've done this, but I know for quite a few. They receive a generous grant to provide 260 rape care kits to BAYWAR, Bay Area Women Against Rape. So these kits, they assemble these kits, and in them are sweats, t-shirts, socks, toiletries, nutrition bars, and journals. And I just think this is so amazing, so impactful, and just shows the heart of these women. So I just wanted to highlight them and give them a little applause. And Gloria, who's actually on this call, is usually involved in this project and is part of the Inner Wheel San Leandro Club. So great job, Gloria. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to chat about was friendship. So that is one of our important pillars. And I wanted to highlight our club, Inner Wheel Club of Niles, Fremont. This year, we had the idea of assembling goodie bags for all of our members, because a lot of people, as you know, have been inside during this pandemic, lonely. We miss each other. So we put together these bags and we drove around and dropped them off. And it was fun, like random acts of kindness. And they were really obviously received well. And we had a ton of fun, but it really just stressed how important, and this is such an important part of our organization, is our community of women and taking care of, obviously outside community, but ourselves as well, and watching out for each other. So this was super fun. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Inner Wheel and Rotary today. So as you know, Inner Wheel was comprised of wives of Rotarians. And so for a long time, a lot of projects, like they would work together on different projects. And today, Inner Wheel Livermore actually still does it. They're very active with the 2 Rotary clubs in Livermore. So they help them, and they actually host several events to support their local Rotary club. So I have 3 pictures here. The first one is from the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore's annual crab feed. So this is a really big event for Rotary, this Rotary club, and all the Inner Wheel women, they collect donations of all kinds from Rotarians and organize them into baskets for both a silent and live auction. This is Diane Geyer, and she is the leader of this event. The next thing is the annual holiday party and fundraiser. This was super fun. I missed this one, and I am like ready for the next time they hold it. This was held in the caves at Wente, and it was a wine taster, and basically it was to raise money for children's books for the Rotary Club's annual children's party. So super fun. They changed the event location a lot, But when they have it at Wente, keep your eye out. You should go. The next one is the annual holiday party and fundraiser. And the money they raise, next one is the Rotarians Foundation Children's Party. And so they help Rotary out by supplying food and children's activities for this party. So they really have an awesome relationship. I'm always really interested because they work really well together and they're really like a united force in Livermore. So, okay. So now I want to chat about the Interwill USA Foundation. And has anyone heard about this foundation? Let's see, where's my chat function? This is really cool. So the Interwill USA Foundation. So we raise money obviously for things in our local community, but we also raise funds for one cause. So all Interwill USA clubs raise money for the Interwill USA Foundation. And what we do is provide myoelectric prosthesis to children born without or who have lost an upper extremity. And a lot of times these children cannot afford these types of prosthesis. And so we partner with Hanger, who is a leading provider of orthotic and prosthetic care to provide children with technologically advanced prosthesis, including the Hero Arm. So our partnership with them is we provide the funds and they provide their time and expertise. So that's how we partner. So the Hero Arm. So here it is. As you can see, it is super cool. And can you imagine being a kid and having this arm? It empowers them. They feel like a superhero. So they have different swappable covers to put on this amazing prosthesis. This little kid is wearing the Marvel's Iron Man cover. They have a Star Wars cover, a Disney Frozen cover. And I mean, these things are so cool. So we get to actually hold these and play with them at our annual fundraiser. And they are just like so futuristic. But really what's so inspiring is they change these children's lives. They literally change their lives. And I'm going to talk about one of our recipients in a minute, but just a couple things about the Hero Arm. It's 3D printed, it's super lightweight, and it's custom built for every individual. And it uses light, sounds, and vibrations to open and close and move. And it can lift up to 17.5 pounds. So it's available in the USA, UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand for below elbow amputee adults and children. So this is Giovanna. She's one of our many recipients, but I just love her. We're gonna watch a video about her, but she is just like a go-getter and a perfect recipient for this Hero Arm. She plays a violin, she rock climbs competitively, rides her bike, and is a self-proclaimed book nerd. So let me go ahead and share a video. Hold on one second. Okay. Oops.
We'll keep our fingers crossed on the technology.
I know. So if it's kind of choppy, then just close your eyes because I know the audio is good. So sorry, I wish it was super clear and I can actually send out this link after if you like. Okay, here we go. Can you guys all see it?
Not yet.
No? Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. Share screen.
Did you check those little
boxes?
boxes?
Here we go. Yes. Okay, how about that?
Yes.
Yay, okay, cool. Here we go.
It's hard not to smile when talking with Giovanna Dubik.
I live my life like a normal human being. I have my sport, I have my instrument, I do my homework every night.
14-year-old Giovanna plays the violin, even rock climbs. Being born without part of her right arm has never stopped her from pursuing her dreams. But now she can do more.
Oh my God, can I touch it? I want to touch it. Dope. This is awesome.
2 weeks ago, Giovanna was retrofitted with a 3D printed bionic arm, or Hero Arm, having the resemblance of something a superhero would wear. The top of the hand lights up when she changes positions, allowing her to do more kid stuff.
I was eating Cheetos the other day during class and I grabbed them, and then like since they're long, I was like, ah, and it was great. It was really funny because a lot of my friends were watching and they were like, this is awesome.
And check this out. She used to ride her bike using one hand and an elbow. Now she's got both hands on the handlebars.
I'm just so glad that there are people out there that make these things for people like me.
Then she sent me a picture with a heart with the two hands, so I was just super emotional about it.
Giovanna's parents say they're surprised by how much more their daughter's able to do now.
You can see here are the electrodes.
The Hanger Clinic in Charlotte helped make it all possible by teaching Giovanna's brain to control the movements.
Go ahead and open the hand. So the yellow is the open, relax, close, and the red is the close.
Those tiny changes translate into big things.
I'm so glad that I have this. I'm so glad that it's actually in my life.
And her parents want to thank a nonprofit called Inner Wheel, which helps provide prosthetic arms to kids and young adults for helping them make that possible financially, but just really cool.
Cool. So let me switch back to my presentation. All right, are we back?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I hope that wasn't too choppy. How was it?
No, it was good. It was enough. You could tell. Yeah.
Good, good. Okay. So supporting the foundation. So we have raised $2 million in assets, and this has been raised by all of our members. We host a ton of different, we do a ton of different things to raise money for our foundation, but I want to highlight a walkathon we had at our last governing board meeting in San Antonio. Super fun. And also one of our clubs, Rotary Club of Slidell, they also held a walkathon. But here in District 517 world, we hold the Friendship Luncheon, the annual Friendship Luncheon. And this is our big fundraiser for the year for the foundation. And I wanted to invite all of you, actually, I want to take a moment and invite all of you here today to our next one. Hopefully it's in 2022. It's usually in February. And it's fun. We have Rotarians there as well. So please come and join us and support this wonderful event. But we have a basket drawing and a lot of fun things. We have a speaker from Hanger come who tells us about the prosthesis, and that's where we get to actually hold them and feel them. And we usually have a recipient of one of the prostheses come and speak about what it's like to receive this and her life or his life with this crazy cool bionic arm. I also want to highlight what my club, Inner Wheel of Niles Fremont, we held a Hydra Happy pampering session, and this was super fun. So we raised about $1,200 for the foundation, and we sent out pampering kits to everyone who signed up, and we just got together and had a great time. Got a little pampering. We haven't been able to do that in this pandemic either. Self-care, like how critical is that? So we had an amazing time and raised a good amount of money. So that was super fun. So that is it for my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks, Michelle. So Sharon, is the plan to go right into
Maryland.
Maryland? Okay. So I'll tell you what, Maryland, I will share my screen so that you have the two photos or the two newspaper articles.
Okay.
That you got me. If my technology works.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I do this. And then do this and this.
Okay.
So are there two newspaper clippings there?
Those are two newspaper clippings from the local newspaper at the time. The Times Star was used to have a society page, and they had a photographer who would come to events like this and do photos. And so this one is dated 1989. I'm not sure. The other one I think was in the 80s also. And we were presenting checks to, the one on the left was to the Jazz Society in Alameda gave money to Inner Wheel, and then in turn we donated it to Meals on Wheels. And like I say, unfortunately, that was Evelyn Arm, and some of you might know Marilyn Oliver here in town. Evelyn was her mother. And then on the right, there's a picture of Gladys Hathaway, who was the wife of Woody Hathaway, and she was our publicity chairman. So like I said, a photographer would come to all of the organizations in Alameda and take pictures like this, which gave us more exposure, than we have now. So anyway, so those are the two photos that I could find. Unfortunately, I have a picture of our entire group, but with all the pictures I have, I just couldn't find it. So these are the ones that I found. But to get started about our Alameda Inner Wheel, it started in the early 80s. Deanna Monsef, who was the wife of Hadi Monsef, who was a very active member of your club, and subsequently district governor, his wife organized our Inner Wheel Club. And at that time, to be a member, you had to be a wife or a spouse of a Rotarian. No women were allowed in Rotary at that time. So we were a very vibrant group at that time. We had, I think, about 30 members. And the aim for our group and Deanna's vision was to get the Rotary wives together for friendship, which Michelle was referring to, how that's important in our group, and also to support any needs that Rotary might have. And so every year for many years, we hosted a cocktail Christmas party for Rotarians. Our members would supply the hors d'oeuvres and beverage. And some of you might remember Bill and Carol Payton, whose home we used for some of the occasions. We also went to the Ensenada Yacht Club for these parties. Also, Renee Thomas for many years supplied the table decorations for your luncheon holiday meetings, like for Valentine's Day and Christmas. As far as raising money, one of our most popular events was to hold a cocktail party with an auction.
And dinner.
And what we did, each member was to purchase a gift for about $25 and elaborately wrap it. And so when the auction came, no one knew what was inside the package. People were bidding on the packages, and the ones that were most elaborately wrapped were usually the ones that got the most money. Not always, but usually. And in that one night, we were able to raise over $1,000, and which was great. And so that enabled us to support some of the local charities in town, as far as the food bank, Meals on Wheels, the Midway Shelter, FOZ, Girls Inc. But we always supported the Inner Wheel USA Foundation, which, as Michelle described, supports the My Electric Limb Bank. And I'm proud to say that the foundation recognizes the donors in 5 categories. And our Inner Wheel group is in the second tier of giving. Throughout the years, we've donated almost $20,000 to the foundation. So that's a brief synopsis of our group. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask.